this fall crisp weather. I love wearing jackets. We're live, flower friends. Hey, it is your friend in flowers, Lisa Mason Ziegler. And look, we've done it again this week, y'all. Look what Bobo harvested yesterday. How gorgeous are these? So we're gonna talk about them in just a little while. So welcome everybody. In today's show, I'm gonna be sharing you can grow cool flowers. We're gonna go over what they are, when to start them. We're gonna see what's blooming on the farm. We have so much beautifulness to show you today. And I'm gonna talk more about our new product coming out this winter, the big calendar journal. I mean, I'm just getting so stoked over this, y'all. Can't wait. We, of course, have it's Friday, so that means we have a free drawing for a giveaway, and I will do my live Q&A at the end of the show. So, before we get started, friends, we just absolutely love it when you guys share with your friends that you're here watching the show. And there's a little share button right down at the bottom if you're on the app with a box with a little arrow in it, and you can invite your friends to come over. And I wanted to say thank you for when you do that. Remember that the app does not communicate with our website, so you need to double check that your information is correct in here. Check your email address and your phone number. We can't ship unless we have correct information, so please double check those. Remember that here inside the app only, when you order only seed packets, the shipping is on us, and we love doing that for y'all. And then when you buy purchase products, there's a cap of $11.95 for shipping. That means you can buy 10 products, and it's only $11.95, right? So that's all the cap on that. And we ship to all 50 of the United States with no international shipping available. Now, if you've just found us on social media, I am so glad you have stumbled upon us. But what I want you to know is that we have a phone app. And inside the app, you just have a whole lot more options. The app is free, and it's quick and easy to download. Just head over to your phone's app store, search Gardener's Workshop, download, we have two apps. Download the Shop app. It'll take you like 45 seconds to do that and come back over here, and we'll be right here waiting for you. You'll be able to participate in the giveaway, the comments, and submit questions. So it's a lot more fun. So friends, we typically sell out of stuff during the live event. So if you go to a product and it says out of stock, get on the wait list, I would recommend you do that because sometimes the team is bringing more stock over from our big website. And if you're seeing folks post the sunflower emoji, I love having my jackets because the logo is so pretty. That is our TGW family, who is made up of our online course students and members of my private flower farmer club. Just sending us some love, and we just love it when we see that. So the giveaway this week is the $25 store credit. And friends, if you hit the button to get on the list that we'll pull from at the end of the show, and you do have to be present to claim it, and you have to be in the app to be able, because we can't see you if you're not in the app, right? So check that out. So let's talk about cool flowers. So first off, out of the gate, what are they? Cool Flowers is the name of a book that I wrote about the family of cool season hardy annuals. They are flowers that they don't just survive cool to cold weather. That's their jam. They love that. And you plant seeds, you plant them according to their preferred method of starting. And for many of us, we can plant on all of these planting dates, but some of us, we can fall plant, which means we're preparing for that now. Some of us can even plant during the winter, but everybody can plant in very early spring. Now, so when we plant them into these preferred cool to cold conditions, they immediately start growing roots. They just get well established in the fall when we plant them. So when they go into winter, they'll go dormant. They're well rooted in. And some of my favorite cool flowers, sweet peas, snapdragons, bells of Ireland, Poppies. I mean, they're the ones that we struggle to grow, right? And it's because we just don't get them in the ground at the right time. Now, what cool flowers are not is they're not warm season tender annuals. The stuff that you're going to see here today on the show, these are all the ones that grow during summer. They don't like hot weather. They're not perennials. They're not zinnias and sunflowers. That's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about a whole nother group of annuals, right? And so if you want to plant them, now is the time to find when you're supposed to plant cool flowers. And how do you do that, right? First off, you have to learn what your first expected fall frost date is. Mine is mid-November. You have to also know what is your winter's lowest temperature. Mine's about 15. And what is your winter hardiness zone, which really your winter hardiness zone and your lowest temperature kind of go in hand, but it's whichever you have. Now, fall planting, the timeline for that is to aim to plant 6 to 8 weeks before that first expected fall frost, right? And then you're going to plant according to what the plant's preferred seed starting method is. That means if you're supposed to plant transplants, that means you're supposed to have transplant ready at 6 to 8 weeks before your first frost to plant in the ground. If it's like a bachelor button that prefers to have its seed planted in the garden, you're going to plant seeds in the ground at 6 to 8 weeks before that first frost, right? Now, only plant in the fall. This is the key, people. Only plant in the fall those cool season hardy annuals that are winter hardy in your zone. That means they survive your winter, right? Those are the ones that you want to actually plant. Now, how are you going to know all this information? We have all the resources. This is the book I mentioned, Cool Flowers, that I wrote. It's the one that started it all for me. I actually wrote it for home gardeners based on my years as a commercial cut flower farmer. So it lists in here, there's actually a cheat sheet on page, I think I would know the page numbers by now, y'all. I think it's 138. It is 138, and it tells you, lists all the flowers that are in this book, and it tells you what winter hardiness, their winter hardiness zone. So you can just look at a glance and see what you can or cannot plant in the fall. When you purchase Cool Flowers from us, it also includes a free video book study. I would love to sign a book and send it to you. And that's like the first step in learning how to grow cool flowers. So how to know which flowers are cool flowers? You know, how can you tell it apart? Well, if you're buying seeds from us, every seed packet right up here in the top will say either cool or warm, so that it's really easy to figure that out. There's a tab in the seed category on our website. There's a seed category, and under the seed category, there's cool season seeds and there's warm season seeds. So that's another way. And you can read our seed packets, and it's in our books. So it's in a lot of places, but you just have to take a moment to read about them. Now, my book, The Cut Flower Handbook, really brings the whole picture together. This has depth of knowledge of growing cool season hardy annuals, but it also starts to mingle it in with warm season so that you can know how to have a 3-season cutting garden. This is like the whole enchilada, y'all. And it features 66 different flowers. 41 of them are cool season and 25 are warm. Plus, when you get the book from us, we give you the bonus of a PDF download that holds 6 flowers that I wanted in the book but wouldn't fit in the book. And 5 of these are cool. So you're really getting 46 cool season hardy annuals when you do this book. And we recommend that when you download it, print it at 85% and see how it's a little bit smaller than the book, so you can just tuck it in your book. And would love to sign one of those for you. I will tell you, that book has all the information you need. Every question I answer, I'm telling you, is in that book, right? Make it your read for the winter. So now I want to tell you about what we have coming out this winter, and it is the big calendar journal, y'all. And if you've read any of my books or any of my courses, this is the brain of my farm. I don't remember exact when I'm supposed to start all these different seeds. This is how I have a constant supply of flowers. This is how I mastered 3-season succession planting to have flowers all the time. So this is just a sample to show you of how big it is. This was what the printer sent to us. It's 20 inches wide, 30 inches long, and what that means is that each day on a month is big enough that you can really make clear notes. So we've always just used this big generic calendar. Now we have created the calendar so that the front page now has my step-by-step instructions for you to figure out when you are supposed to plant. There are 8 different succession plantings for you to apply to your dates and your frost dates and your winter lowest temperature. Friends, it's just going to be awesome. And so they're going to go on pre-sale October 1st. They're $39.95, by the way. They're going to go on pre-sale October 1st. And throughout the pre-sale, all pre-sale purchases will be invited to a bonus workshop live where we will fill the calendar out together for your planting windows, which will then lead you to your seed starting dates. So get on the wait list. Susie has it up. That just means that you're going to get an email the moment that the pre-sale opens. And if you're one of our students or one of my club members, you'll get a 48-hour start on that. So can't wait for you guys to have this calendar in your hands. So I want to show you now my favorite way to start seeds, and particularly cool season. So these are Rudbeckias, black-eyed Susans that are, so let's see, they were started on the 3rd. These are 9 days old. Rudbeckias are kind of slow, so this is pretty impressive actually. And this is Rudbeckia Maya, which is one of my latest additions. It came on board about 3 years ago. Totally love her, but this is 100 of the small soil blocks. We just have such a high rate of germination because of the environment that it's pretty simple to create the best for starting seeds. We put 1 seed into 1 block, and that block grows the plant up, and this is the block that gets planted out in the garden. No, I do not bump them up, and it's not necessary when you start them in a timely manner. So this is Rudbeckia that is 9 days old. And I have to say that I'm even pretty dadgum impressed with that. So let's see how you can actually do it. I might need a little water. And so this is the small blocker, which is the one that I use most of the time, about 95% of the time. Thank you, Susie.
That's just dirt in the water.
That's okay, yeah, no, so this is my dirty water. I did this last night and it gets dry overnight, so I'm just adding a little bit of water, because let me give you a tip. If you're having trouble soil blocking, I can almost promise you it's because your soil's too dry. If you have trouble getting it out of the block, or your blocks are kind of just not nice, that's the problem. So this is the blocker size that I use almost 95% of the time. The only time I don't use this is if the seed is too large. And so I'm going to just push it down into the blocking mix a couple of times, because I want to be sure the chambers are filled but not packed. And this is a potato masher, y'all. That is the tool of choice. And I want to just mention that we use trays that have a flat bottom with no ridges in them, with no drainage holes. And this means you can do it anywhere in your home. So you just place it on the tray, give it a squeeze, and friends, we just that simply made 20 little containers, because the soil blocks are the actual containers. Am I sowing seeds? Okay. So you read the directions on your seed packet as to whether you firmly place them on the surface or you push them in deeper if they need to be covered. Thank you, sister. So, deal of the day, y'all. This is, you want to fix that for me, please? Thank you. So the deal of the day is our #1 selling product. Y'all have just loved this. We've sold it since 2005. And this is the Soil Block Maker Kit. And that includes the small blocker. And this is the original blocker that's made in England. We import them. We stand behind our tools, and Ladbroke stands behind us. There's lots of counterfeits and knockoffs out there now. And just don't be fooled. This is the original. And then this kit also includes the Seed Starting Made Easy online course that I made. You have lifetime unlimited access, and it takes you through all the steps, starting them, growing them up, hardening them off, and getting them out to the garden, as well as a session on seed starting, sowing out in the garden. The kit comes with your choice of either 3 cool season seeds or 3 warm season seeds, whichever fits your purpose of when you're getting it. It also includes 5 of our reusable foam trays. This holds 3 sets of 20. This includes the static-free aluminum seed pan, the toothpick and holder, the little wooden plant IDs, and a bag of the ready-made mix, y'all. This is the bag that has everything in it. You just add water. It's a 6-quart size, but y'all, this makes like 600 small blocks. It is super efficient because of the method, and we love it. So you get this, you get the trays, the blocker, the seeds, and the course. And friends, it was already a deal at $89.95, which is the regular price when you buy the kit. Everything is available individually. And that's already like a 15% savings. But it's 20% off today through Sunday morning at 8 a.m. And it's $71.96. Y'all, that is just an opportunity of a lifetime. By the way, if you have any gardeners in your life, this is like the perfect Christmas gift. And so everything is sold individually. It's, again, regular price for the kit is $89.95. From now through Sunday morning at 8 a.m. or until supplies run out, it's $71.96. So that is the deal of a lifetime. So you can purchase the soil blocking mix separately. Again, this is the 6-quart bag, and you just add water. There are big bags of this available on our website. And y'all, this is not sterile soil blocking mix or any seed starting mix. This is a living soil. It's $15.95. And again, you can find big ones if you need a 20-quart over on our big website. So this is the sifter, y'all. We recommend sifting all seed starting products, whether you're making your own or buying ours or buying somebody else's. And this sifter fits perfectly on, you gonna do it? Yeah. I'm gonna try to stay away. You know how itchy I get, y'all. It fits on a 5-gallon bucket, and you can see, Suzanne, this is really a fun job. I love doing this in the winter outside, y'all. And there's just little chunks in the soil, which is part of the biology. It's good stuff. You just don't want it in your seed starting mix. But you can just see it, and you want to put that in your containers, put it out in your garden. You just don't want it in your fine seed starting mix. So the sieve is $24.95, and again, it fits perfectly on a 5-gallon bucket, and it makes it so simple and easy to use. So we have several sizes of the reusable foam trays. This is the 5 1/4 inch square, which holds 1 set of 20. A 5-pack's $1.95. All of these come in 25 packs. The small, which holds 2 sets of 20, is $2.95 for the 5-pack. And the large one, this is the size that comes in the kit. It's a 5-pack, is $3.95. And again, they all come in 25 packs. We just use masking tape with the garden marker and use them year after year. So what's the rest of the story after you make your blocks and sow your seeds? The rest of the story is a seedling heat mat. And yes, friends, even when you are doing cool season seeds, we use a seedling heat mat, but we do it a little different. First off, air temperature where you're starting your seeds should be about 65 to 70 degrees. And we use these little my mom's old cookie cooling racks. And I just place the cookie cooling rack over the seedling heat mat and place my trays on here only when I'm doing cool season hardy annuals. That still provides warmth to your trays, but it's not hot, right? And so that your seed needs some warmth to know when to wake up and sprout. And this setup really provides that. It has a built-in thermostat, and you keep it plugged in 24/7 when you're starting seeds, and it is $39.95. And there is also a really big one of those over on our website if you need that. I always get asked what fertilizer do I use. I use a fertilizer for my seedlings that I can use in my garden, that I can use for foliar feeding, all of those. This is the Neptune Seaweed Fish. And it's $18.95, has the directions right on here. I follow the house plant directions, which is 1 tablespoon to a gallon. And every Monday, we fertilize our seedlings. But you can also, as I mentioned, use this out in the garden. It's $18.95 and it is 18 ounces. So it'll last a good long time. Now, this is something that I like to do on Fridays. We have compost tea bags available. Y'all, it looks just like a tea bag, right? And this has high quality compost in it. And you can actually drop this into your gallon size watering can like today, and then we'll use the water tomorrow, let it steep for 24 hours. And it just provides a lot of living biology into your blocks, which especially with us soil blocking with living soil, this just enhances all of that. It just makes your soil even healthier. So there are 12, I think, in here, and it is $18.95 for 12 tea bags. And this is just a really fun thing to add to your mix, especially to just make it healthier.
I use these for my indoor plants too, and I just save a gallon container that I had milk in, wash it real good, put a tea bag in, shake it up real good, let it sit overnight, and then you're ready to water your indoor plants with it, and it does not have a smell.
Awesome, sister. And so here is our favorite little watering can for a gentle pour to water our soil blocks. So let's just pretend, hey, well, did you already take away my big blocks? That's all right. So this is the physical way that I would do this. This is a gentle pour. I'm not pouring water on my blocks. I'm pouring it towards the edge and just filling up the tray. And see, these are the blocks that I just made, and they're pretty wet, so it's not going to really absorb very good. But you do this, and then you wait a few minutes, and then you look, and it's like, oh, there's still a little water left. You can just tip the tray and pour it off. If there's no water left, you just need to ensure that they're truly all the way wet, or maybe add a little bit more water. The watering can really makes this a easy job because it's got a gentle pour, but we also love using this watering can to water flower arrangements, so you don't have to take all the stems out of a vase. You can kind of tuck this into the flowers and pour it, and this is $29.95. It's stainless steel, and this holds 4 cups of water, better known as a quart, right? So love that. All right, so when you get your seedlings outdoors, so we're doing this right now. We are preparing our beds for cool flowers, which means we're adding our standard procedure, unless a soil test tells us to add something in addition, is we always use the general purpose dry organic fertilizer, and we do it according to the directions. This is a 5-pound bag that covers 250 feet. It's slow release, and it's made from turkey litter, feather meal, bone meal, sulfate of potash. All organic stuff that, because you know, the story is, with organic fertilizers, right, is you're not really directly feeding your plant roots like synthetic stuff does. You're feeding the soil that's getting healthier with every application and taking better care of your plants. So with each application, your garden gets better off, versus with synthetics, you have to continually repeat it to get any added benefit. So this is, the 5-pound bag is $21.95, and there is a 20-pound bag over on our website if you need it bigger, and we really love this. So I'm saying we're getting ready to do beds. The other thing, I just got a new roll of the Bio from the warehouse. So we use biodegradable film because it provides a mulch covering on our beds that blocks all the light from getting to the surface, which is what your weed seeds are just waiting for to be able to sprout. So we prepare our soil and immediately make our beds and cover it with the biodegradable film. There is a video on the product showing how you can do this by hand, which I did it for years by hand. We do it with the tractor now. And so this is so easy to install at home. It comes with a dark side and a light side. The dark side is what we put up in fall and winter, this side up. And when it starts to warm up and get hot, like in summer, we make the beds and put the light side up. That way you keep the surface cool. This has some solarization properties about it. So it's all 48 inches wide. It is super easy to plant through too. That's why there are all these holes, y'all, me doing this. It's super easy to plant through. It's made out of a plant byproduct. It's all 48 inches wide, which means it'll do a 36-inch wide bed because you have to tuck the sides. There's a 20-footer for $10.95, a 50-footer for $24.95, and there's multi-packs available, and there's even a 100-pack. This is what allowed us to really scale our garden because it had better weed suppression, plus it was much quicker and easier to put down. So biodegradable film, we've been using it for 12 or 13 years now, and we just absolutely love it. All right, and then Bobo, who, if you've been around for a while, you know Bobo's name. She's worked here on the farm for over a decade, and this is, we call it the Bobo tool. It's a dandelion weeder, but this is what she uses to poke the holes in the bio, just because it makes her arm longer and you don't got to stretch as much. And it's $8.95, and it's a great weeder for dandelions and thistle, all those long-rooted things. But it also is great for making holes in biodegradable film. So y'all, this is the insect netting. And so this is made to protect plants from airborne pests. You use it like on hoops, like you would a row cover, but we use it, particularly at this time of the year, as a sun cap. We use hoops on our beds. I plant my cool flowers, and it's too hot outside, right? It's warmer than what I want. And so I make a little sun cap, and that just means the insect netting is clipped to the hoops, holding the sides up, so it shades the top. It allows more light to penetrate, but it also allows more heat to escape. Love this stuff. It's 6.5 feet wide, just like row cover. You can cut it to any size. A 20-footer is $33.95. A 50-foot is $82.95. It is much more durable. It's very different than row cover. It's stretchy, it's more durable, and it allows heat to escape, where row cover is the opposite of that, right? So insect netting is a really big piece of our cool flower plantings also. So y'all, slugs, spring will be here before we know it, where they really get their game going, but we still see them, especially in our shade garden. This is the Slug X, and this is made to hold your beer. Because slugs are attracted to beer because of the yeast that's in it. And when you put it in an open saucer, it gets rained out, or the dog drinks it and then eats the pickled slugs. See how it has the little doorways in here? With this top comes off. Oh, look, we have slugs. How cute are these? Susie made these. And I mean, we love these boogers. They almost make you like slugs, but not quite, right? But you fill these wells up with beer. Pabst Blue Ribbon is the beer of choice. It is the yeastiest. I mean, Cornell University actually did a study. And you put the beer in, and then you just put the top back on. If you have a golden retriever like me, you might want to put a cinder block on this to keep him out of it. And you just set it in your garden, and they smell the yeast, and that's what draws them in. Really easy to pop the top off and, have somebody just jet it out with the hose wherever you want the corpse to be. And does a super great job, and it just makes trapping slugs a little bit easier and more effective. Sister, why don't you talk about the gloves?
Hey guys, these are the gloves that we use here on the farm. I wear them at home in the garden, and these are the Atlas gloves. They have a single coating of nitrile on the palms. There's no latex in here, and they're super lightweight, and they're very, very grippy, so you can do lots of small things with them. We have cousins that actually needlepoint. Some use them, mechanics use them to work on cars, those kinds of things. They're just really, really easy to feel what
Grippy.
you're doing. They're very grippy. Now, I have a large hand for a woman. I wear like a size extra large, if I can find them off the shelf, and these are a medium. So they're unisex size small to large, extra small to large. Extra small works great for kids or a petite woman, but these are just the best. One pair, they're 20% off today, and a single pair is only $7.16.
What a deal.
Trust me, you don't want to be without. Or you can get a 4-pack, and the 4-pack is $25.56. Perfect Christmas gifts. I buy multiple sizes, put them in a basket at the party at my house. I just pass them around. Everybody can pick out what size they fits them best.
And people love that. I
They
mean, they want a
do.
new pair every
do.
stinking year.
And then what we've also had some sweet stories of ladies will buy 4 packs and their friends, and they'll all swap a color. So they'll have one color right hand, one color left hand. So every time they're out in their garden, they're thinking about the other person that has the other match to their gloves.
That was a tear-jerking
Yes,
story.
so it's a sweet story. Just think about that when you're doing your gift giving. Now, we also have the Atlas heavier duty one, and this has double dipped coating of nitrile on the palms. So it's a little heavier duty, works good if you're moving wood or concrete.
Brick masons.
Or you can just wear these in where you would wear the other ones, but they're just a little bit thicker coating and a little heavier weight. I tend to wear these when it's getting a little cooler outside. And these go size small up to extra large. So if you have a guy that has a really big hand, this is going to fit him. And he's going to love them. So these also come, a single pack is $7.16, a 4-pack is $25.56, and they're sized the same way. They're unisex. I wear an extra large women's glove, and this is a medium that I wear in this glove. So a medium or a small would fit most women. Extra small would fit a petite. I'm sorry, these don't come in extra small, but extra large would fit that really big guy. And again, get these, put them in a basket, pass them around for your gifts.
All right, friends, reminder, it is the giveaway. We'll be pulling this at the end, so hit the box now to get on that list. And just a reminder that I will be doing a little Q&A at the end, so if you have a question you'd like for us to try to answer, put in the comments at Lisa and put your question in, and the team will gather all of those up and feed those to me at the end, and we'll try to answer them. And friends, now it is time for the Bouquet Studio with Susie Q.
Hey guys, see if I can get you a little further away so you can see a little bit better. There you go. So I picked out, once again, some fall colors. I am so ready for it to be cooler, guys. I don't know about you. And my husband and I have gone to the thrift store again, and we got so many great vases. This is just really pretty cut glass, and just love them. So don't forget, recycle, reuse, and go to the thrift stores and get these vases for your flowers. They've got some beautiful ones. So the first thing we want to talk about is what we do to our water before we make our bouquet. So you can't forget to add your flower food. And this is actually, this is just the clear flower food, okay. I didn't know if we had the bulb one or not. So we always want to put flower food in. I just take a stem and stir it up a little bit until it becomes clear. And then we also have our quick dip. Now, the quick dip is a resuscitator. Florists use this for flowers that come in the back door in a box from South America. And you can use it too for your retail flowers, garden flowers that tend to not hydrate well and their little heads hang down, or roses, when their little heads hang down, it's because they're not getting enough water. You cut the stems and then you just quick dip it. We usually put a little bit in a container and we clearly mark it and keep it away from anybody's not supposed to be using it. And you cut the stem and then you quick dip it, and then you take it out and then you put it in your arrangement. Well, that works great that way. But we have arrangers that we've worked with for years, and do you know what she does? She puts a little bit of this in her harvest bucket if there's something that doesn't hydrate well, and you can use it in your arrangements too. So I'm just going to put a little dribble in there, and that's just going to help every stem to open up their little vessels that go in their stem to help drink water and help them, give them a longer, better life. All right, so today I'm going to be using the Easy Arranger. Now, the Easy Arranger, this is a 3-pack, and this is great as a gift, and we even split it up. We go to the Dollar Tree and get some organza bags, and you can put them in 3 separate little organza bags with a little note and have 3 gifts. What a perfect price point. $21.50 for 3, and you can have 3 gifts. But I'm going to show you how we use them. So they come flat, and then you kind of puff up the center just a little bit, and you place it over your vase, and whatever's extra hanging over, you just bend down. The 3-pack comes in 3 different sizes. It is a 4, 5, and 6 inch. I think this is the 5 inch. And I find that's the most versatile. And you just push it down until it gets in place there. Now we're gonna start adding some flowers. And the great thing about the Easy Arranger is it holds your flowers wherever you put them, so you can use less flowers in your arrangement. And I usually make hand bouquets, you guys know this, so I'm just gonna kind of wing it here and show you how to do it. I'm gonna guess how tall. That's the hardest thing, figuring out what height to cut, and I cheat and do the table length when I see how big it is. So this is a big stem, and there are a few big holes that you can put big stems in. And you just push it down in there, and look, it stands straight up. So let's get some sunnies in here. Sunflowers always make you happy. And again, I'm just gonna guess at cutting it. And now I'm gonna cut the edge a little bit shorter at an angle so it'll fit in my Easy Arranger a little bit easier. All right, now we have
my favorite
marigold. I mean, and which one is this, Lisa? This is
that's White Swan.
This is White Swan.
But it's really buttercream, which in my opinion is better than white.
It's just gorgeous, gorgeous. So we're gonna add some of those in here.
Quick dip, the same thing as hydrator?
Yes, Quick Dip is a hydrator. Thanks for asking, whoever asked. It is a hydrator. Now I'm gonna get some zinnias. Zinnias, just, look at that orange, it's just beautiful. And they just brighten up anything. Look when the yellow brightens up, but look how that orange just makes everything pop. So what I'm gonna do here is put a few more of these in, and this will work great if you have like a buffet table or some table that you're gonna put flowers on, and this big beautiful arrangement is gonna be somewhere. But the problem with that is it's really tall and it's really hard to see the stems. These are our peppers, and I'm just gonna pull off, these are our rooster peppers, and I'm just gonna pull off the foliage. You can see how easy it is to pull the foliage off. And we're gonna put him front and center here.
You know, I wish y'all could see the floor around her when she gets done. If you've ever gone into a flower shop, you understand why wherever the florists are standing and working, there's just debris everywhere. It just happens that way.
Let's put another one of these in.
So that's Selway Terracotta.
Yep, Selway Terracotta. And that color just works so great with fall. So let me put one more of these in. And then I'm gonna show you. So this is just one side. You would have to do the other, well, I would call it two sides because I usually do things in threes. If you wanted to use this somewhere where it's gonna be seen from all sides. And I had a lot more flowers to put in here, and it has a room for a lot more flowers, but we're short on time. So I'm gonna show you. This is beautiful, but you know what I love to do. Everybody hold your breath. You ready? You have to know where your fingers are when you're doing this. Like I said, my husband and I went to the thrift store, and we found these beautiful little dishes. Did I leave a price tag on? No, that's a leaf. And if you cut it short, you can just stuff it in the container, and it's probably a little too tall, but you stuff it in the container, and it makes this beautiful little arrangement that you can now see all of the flowers from the top when you're sitting at your table, even if it's on a coffee table, any table. I just think that it just gives a better view of your flowers. And I had planned to do two and do another one, but I didn't put all the flowers in here. But just don't forget to use your gravy boats. Got these both from the thrift store for like $4. And they are perfect for a little flower arrangement just to brighten up your table or anywhere. Love them. So that is our
How
Bouquet
cute is that?
Studio. And yes, I'm gonna throw this away now.
All right, it's right in back there.
All right, next up
So we have our company party here tonight, so we'll use that at our party.
Awesome.
All right, so now let me, we're going to show flowers. And you know, I always like to remind everybody that the key to not forgetting seeds that you want to start is to buy seeds when you meet the flower. And then store them properly, and that means they'll still be very viable when the time comes. And the way to do that is by using desiccants. If you store your seeds cool and dry, then you don't have to, their vitality lasts a whole lot longer. So you can get a 2-pack of these for $2.95 or a 10-pack for $9.95. And it's just, you put your seeds in an airtight container, put one of these in there, give them a day or two to absorb it, and then store them either in your refrigerator, your freezer, whatever you're doing. And it just keeps them dry and cool. And that's what seeds are all about. And did y'all know that here on the farm now, for like the last 3 years, we don't buy bulk seeds for me to actually plant on the farm. I actually send an order up to the warehouse and I get exactly the same seeds that you're starting from. They literally pull my seed packets off the shelf and send them here to the farm from the list that Bobo sends them. And I just love doing that. That helps me to see how they're doing. Are the seed counts right? It's kind of become part of our double check system.
So first is the Pro Cut mix.
Yeah, so this is the Pro Cut Bouquet mix. And I segregated these because you want to know what the difference is? These are both bouquet mix. These are still young and viable. These are all old, y'all. If you can tell, look how much bigger the centers are. The centers continue to develop as the stem does. But the way I know that they're old is the centers send up their little extensions, which is what creates all the nectar, and the petals are just really getting spread out. So this is the bouquet mix, which is 4 different oranges in the Pro Cut series. And this is the number one that we love actually growing. So this is the first week we actually have Fall Medley, which is another custom mix that we make here in at the Gardener's Workshop. And these are all Pro Cuts. And you'll notice that they aren't really very open yet because these are the bicolors, y'all. You can see the petals that are starting there. We are always certain to harvest bicolors and chocolates and whites earlier than the oranges, or at least to be more on time than we sometimes are with the oranges, because bicolors tend to drop their petals a little bit more prematurely. And so all of these, if you can see the petals, but they'll be open by tomorrow probably. But this is how we cut them. And you can see this has 3 bicolors in the mix. It has the chocolate, which is actually a red, and the orange. And totally love this one. I'm going to be doing some video shooting with this one tomorrow. It's going to be really, really beautiful. And the plum is just my plum favorite, y'all. And then we haven't had this one yet this year. This is the Sunfill Purple. And they're a little further along. We like to use them when they're just in bud. If you can imagine these petals closed, and you can see this, how much petal of green there is. We love using these as filler in our bouquets, but they develop into these funky, different, it's like what would you say that is, sister? A skinny?
I don't know, I love them.
They're fluted. Yeah. The petals are fluted. They're not flat like others. So they're super cool. And the purple part of this is that the foliage has a brush of a dark color. Sunfill Purple, we love those guys. Yeah, so I want to show you the marigolds. And first up, which one are we looking at? White Swan. So White Swan has become one of my favorites. This is what they look like, y'all. They're just absolutely scrumptious. But I just wanted to show you, look how tall these boogers are. This is just more than we can manage. That's why we have left these, because I just wanted to show you. The White Swans have low to no fragrance, and it is the foliage that makes them have a fragrance. This is my go-to marigold now. We have it as early and late as possible, and I just wanted to say, and they have excellent stem length, so we love White Swan. And then I'm going to show you the mix, and here's one of them. It's the orange one, and look how tall that one is, y'all. Here's the bottom. Look at that. Marigolds are absolutely amazing. And this is the Jedi mix. There's orange, gold, and yellow. Look at the yellow center. See how green they still are? That's the way I love to cut them. Don't let them get bloomed out and cover that up. That's what makes them so interesting. Now, this foliage does have fragrance, and you would need to remove the foliage to remove the fragrance. Really love those. So this is that new celosia that we introduced a couple weeks ago. It's called Shimmer. It's a little bit nice, big, fluffy heads in these nice, softer colors. This is just would be such a great color for fall. So very, very beautiful. And then this is the one that Suzanne used in her bouquet. This is Selway Terracotta. It's a color that'll go with anything you put it with. The growth habit on Selway, it's a strong, uniform brancher. I just love this flower. Comes in a lot of different colors too. We just love that. And then of course, Flamingo Feather is just a favorite. I love using it earlier than later. This is a little bit more mature, and you can see how it's getting darker on some of them. And it's just a really great celosia. And then, oh, I meant to go cut more of this. This is Sylphid, and there is so much gorgeous Sylphid out there, y'all. And so this color is amazing. The Sylphid is this tall out in the garden. It is so beautiful. It is very uniform. And it's just, you can use it with anything. So it's a plume. These sat out, there's a long story to go with these, which I won't share with you. These got cut yesterday in the live gardening show from the garden. And so anyway, Sylphid is been a favorite, and we love growing that one. But if I only could grow one plume, this is the one I would grow because of all the different colors. This is the Texas plume. We actually have this seed grown for us. And it's just got all the colors of the rainbow in it. And it is this tall out in the garden. So these are the Celosia Texas plumes, which are just really great. And then this is High Z, which I just love this one. I love it when it occasionally reverts back to its roots. It was a coxcomb, and this is just a great color, especially all during summer. That is a really great one. And then a coxcomb mix. We love this one. Gold, pinks, yellows, reds, a couple different color reds. It's a strong brancher, and it is such a long-lasting flower in the garden and in bouquets. But then y'all, look at this. This is Act Green. It is the most versatile. A versatile flower means you can use it in a lot of different ways because of its color. And that's what this is. This is a single stem coxcomb. One seed gives one head. And it is a gorgeous, great head, that is for sure. Here's another seed that we get grown for us. This is Jura Salmon, and this is just a great color. I love it when it fades. It is just such a great color. Strong brancher, we love it. And then there's also Queen Improved. This is a brighter orange. Love this color. Bobo and I voted this the new introduction of the year this year here on the farm. Nobody but she and I vote, so, but we love it. Then we still have good old Gumphrina, the Pastels Mix. This is the Audra series, and she is the best, y'all. We love growing this one, and the white is just fantastic. The purple is the one that we love to grow in the fall. And this color is just so dynamic for that. So Suzanne showed you in her arrangement the rooster peppers. This is one we had the seed shared with us years ago, and we now have it grown. She showed you why it's so special, right? I'm gonna try to hold it and do it. It's because you can strip the foliage away from the fruit to expose the fruit so you can actually see it, which is the point of cut flowers, right? Just that quick. That is not the case on 99% of the other peppers I've ever grown. So these, we use fresh green. They're in the process of changing colors now. Amazing stem length, strong brancher. You pinch it, and I'm telling you, friends, you got to get that to grow it for next year. It's so useful. And this is what I'll be doing all fall, is when we cut them, as they turn red, we'll make them into these little bunches, because this is what I made with my farming club, and I'll be making more this year, is these amazing wreaths. I mean, they're just, everybody wants to buy it. Nobody has enough money to buy this from me. I loved making this thing. And I'm sure it's in the app. The way I tied them on is with our flexi tie. Bobo, who is a pro at this, said it's the best she's ever used for making wreaths. Super simple and easy. And then, my friends, pumpkin on a stick. Look how tall these boogers are. And so there's so many different ways to use these. You can use them on the stick to make bouquets. We cut the lower fruit off to display in bowls. I mean, how great would this be for tablescaping, right? They're like little pumpkins. I love saying that, little pumpkins. Look at them. They're like little pumpkins. It's an ornamental eggplant. And I love using them green too, by the way. So you can do that. And then look at this. This has probably been in this container, what would you say, 4 weeks?
At least.
4 weeks, at least. I mean, this is like totally great, right? All right, let me put this back. So, next up, I mean, we are in grass season, right? This is Frosted Explosion. This is the way we like to cut it as it's just emerging. And it's kind of short right now. The tall ones have already been cut, but this is such a fun grass. I don't know if y'all can see it. It has these little, it's like it shimmers. It's really, really beautiful. And then this is another grass that I love. This is Purple Majesty. It looks like a maroon cornstalk with a cattail stuck on top of it. Really useful. You can dry it, and especially putting this with sunflowers, so fun. And y'all, this is the eucalyptus that I showed you last week. Still holding up. This is the silver dollar. That's the classic. Really fun to use. Everybody loves it. And then this one has been in my house all week. All right, she's tangly. This is Pollyann, I call her. Polyanthemus. Love this eucalyptus. And, I mean, this stuff just shimmers out in the garden. It is really, this could really be a feature plant. It's really, really beautiful. And then, of course, Mahogany Splendor. We grow this for the foliage. You don't need much of this. It's a dark color. You don't want to use very much. And it's very productive. And so we grow that for the foliage. It looks like a Japanese maple, but it's an annual. And then, of course, my favorite, blue azuratum any time of the year. Look at those blue blooms. And this is the perfect stage to harvest before it's gotten fuzzy, y'all. It continues to develop, and it's a great foliage to use. Now, this is our favorite basil. This is Miss Burns Lemon. It's a lighter in color, and it literally smells like lemon, y'all. I mean, it sweeps people off their darn feet. Then there's this, which is Cardinal. Wait a minute. This is...
There's two.
I didn't know there was two. This is Cinnamon. Cinnamon has a darker stem and a darker flower, but this definitely holds up the best, especially if you're going to farmer's market. So that's Cinnamon. Then this is the new Everleaf Lemon, which why we love it, it's got smaller leaves. It's just easier to use. It's slower to go to bloom. I mean, I really don't want the basil bloom. I want the foliage, and that's what this delivers, and it is super tall out in the garden. And now, y'all, everybody's favorite always. Everybody thinks zinnias are pretty simple. They may be simple, but they're the #1 flower I sold and seeds that we've sold now for 2 decades. This is the Benary's Giant Mix. It has all the colors in it. It's so very beautiful. Then this is the purple. We sell all the colors, and these really, we got these odd, I'm not sure if seeds got mixed up when we were starting them. But that's the purple right there, y'all. Benary's Giant Purple. Love them so much. And then, of course, this is the greatest color for fall. Look at that salmon. Look at these. This is how I like to cut it right here and here. Before those yellow things pops, the florets. Love the salmon. And then Scarlet Red. You know, how many of these do you think you can sell the week before 4th of July? Let me tell you, you never have enough. Cat fights used to break out in our members only market over the red, white, and blue flowers. It was kind of crazy. Pretty upscale ladies. It was pretty funny. This is Coral. Coral is kind of a glowing color. Love this one. Love this one any time of the year, actually. And again, that's the way I like to cut them before they really get those yellow florets. And then, of course, my favorite, and Susie Q stole all the big, beautiful orange ones, right? Mm-hmm. All my life,
as
y'all.
sisters do.
All my life. But orange is just a great fall color, right? I mean, look at the yellow. I mean, how is that for fall? So you can grow the mix or you can grow the individual colors. Yellow is definitely one that you want to cut it early because you don't want it, the center gets mature, it starts to look dirty really fast, as does white. So this is how I want to cut it before it has all those florets, because it just ages really fast from then. In light colors, it really shows up. And that is also true for the lime green Benaries. Earlier is better than later in light colors, and green is no different. Then this is the Oklahoma, which is one of my favorite varieties.
Oklahoma.
And then that happens every time we have Oklahoma, y'all. Since we used to be at the farmer's market. These are pink Oklahomas. They're smaller, but they're as voluptuous and beautiful as the Benaries. They're also from Benaries. We love them. And then here's the mix, which we're missing a lot of colors, but you can just see they're just a nice little different size. If you're making bouquets, they're priceless to have to add to your bouquets. These are the giant cactus mixes. You know, cactus has these frilly kind of cut leaves that are in a different way. And look at the colors are so different. That's what's so cool about growing them. And then, y'all, the queens are still putting on. This is the queen mix. All these colors are available individually in the app. But again, I want to say, if you're just meeting them for the first time, definitely grow the mix and see what your colors are, if there is a favorite. Then start picking and choosing. But love that one. And then this is the zinnia that I grow only in late summer and fall because of the color. Butterfly favorite, for sure. And it's just a great color. That's Zowie. We love her. And then the last one, but not the least, y'all. This is Uproar Rose. And it is just a magenta color that the Benaries don't have. It's just kind of fluorescent. And we absolutely love it. All right, so now we're on to the Cosmos, y'all. And I just want to pile them up here, sister. So this is Rubenza, which is one of my favorites. See this? This is, it comes out like this and then it fades like a Stonewash pair of blue jeans, y'all. Love this color for fall. It's so amazing. Then this is the Cupcake Blush. There's actually some white cupcakes in here too. This is the blush color here. But Cupcake is really a fun, I'm looking for a really good cupcake one. They don't always make the cupcake. Here, this is the Cupcake. It's just got an added ruffle in the middle. And then this is my favorite white because of how many ruffles. This is Fizzy. And Fizzy has, it's almost kind of similar to the Cupcake. It has an extra row of petals in the center. I find the more petals, the longer Cosmos last. And that is, I mean, white is just always so useful. And y'all, this apricota is still going on and being a show off. Look at that color. This is Cosmo Apricota. Great color, great color. And then this is the Double Click Mix. And again, look how double the blooms are. The more double, the longer they last. All of these colors are available individually. But you do know that Cosmos are just like dahlias, where they perform best. Look at that, y'all. How gorgeous. Cosmos perform best at the end of the season when the days are shorter and the weather is cooler. They last longer, they bloom more. We grow them all summer, but they just do a whole lot better in the fall. So you definitely got to get that third planting in, which again, how do we remember to do all that? It's that big jumbo calendar, y'all. Can't wait for y'all to have that in your hands. All right, friends, it is time to wrap up. And so remember to stick around to the very end and we'll be doing that Q&A. And I just want to remind everybody, especially if you're new here, we have the gardenersworkshop.com is our big platform. And over there we have so many free resources, videos, our blog. We have 2 podcasts you can connect with, Field and Garden that I host, as well as Seed Talk with Lisa and Lane. And I also host an Ask a Flower Farmer. Well, actually, the Gardener's Workshop hosts Ask a Flower Farmer on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. And we have different people filtering through. This week it's me, and you'll find that on our Instagram page. And then remember to meet us here next Friday for this live show, and to join me on Wednesday nights. And did y'all hear? If you had your notifications turned on here inside the app, you would have been notified yesterday morning at approximately 10:30-ish when Suzanne and I went live here inside the shopping app from the garden, dragging a 300-foot internet cable. It was so fun. Nobody went down completely in the garden, I will say. Camera went down a couple times, and there were bad words said before we started, and we won't say who said those. But we can't really schedule those because it depends on weather, where is the sun, who's here to help. So if you want to not miss a live in the garden, you can go back and watch the replay if you have the app. It says from the garden, and we just loved showing you our garden, meeting some of my favorite bugs and some that we are no longer with us. And so it was really a lot of fun, and it was a new day. I mean, that's just opening the doors. We're working all the tech stuff out, but we just bit the bullet, and we did it in misting rain, light mist yesterday. It was awesome. Susie helped us, and it was just so great. So stick around. So be sure to turn on your notifications in the app if you want to know when we're doing that again. And you know what we're going to do next, I think, is from our tunnel out there. That'll be so awesome. All right, friends, we have a winner for, where is this? They have put our stuff away.
It must have fallen over.
So we have our big company party here in less than 4 hours. So we have a winner of our $25 store credit, and I hope you're here. It is Kim Luber. Sorry if I said that wrong. Kim Luber, Luber. Kim, if you are here, give us a shout out in the comments, and the girls will drop a $25 store credit right into your cart to be there ready and waiting for you. So friends, stick around for the live Q&A, but if you're heading out, thanks for joining us, and I'm so glad that you were here today. All right. I've read that fall is optional, but can I plant sweet peas with success in very early spring? So, oh, Kim is here. Congratulations, Kim. First of all, thank you for participating. We just love it. And so the girls are dropping $25 right into your cart, so you're set to shop. So if anybody can plant in the fall, you 100% should plant in the fall, because your plants are better established. You will get twice as much production. They'll be taller or longer. They're more disease and pest resistant. Many, it 100% depends on where you live. Like I can't plant sweet peas in very early spring. They'll grow, but they just don't have enough time to really get enough growth before the heat and humidity starts. They're way behind my fall planted, right? So it's not really that it's optional. It is optional, I guess you would say, if they're winter hardy for you, but you definitely want to plant them in the fall if they're winter hardy for you. And if you're in zone 7, I would say I would definitely plant sweet peas in the fall. And you just won't believe the difference. Our sweet peas produce till July because they are so well established and healthy and ready to hit the ground running. If I cut marigolds deep now, could I still get another flush this season? Well, it really depends on when your first expected frost date is. Mine is mid-November, and we always cut deep, and so we just assume we'll either have time or not. You know, I mean, time will only tell. I don't really think about that much, but we don't ever cut high thinking, oh, I'm going to preserve some side shoots. So yeah, it's like me showing you that marigold that was so long. That was cut this far above ground. And that was just cut, I think I did that 2 days ago. But it's really more about your frost date, not so much your zone. But what you have to remember is that plants begin to slow down as the days get shorter and the temperatures cool off. But marigolds love those conditions. They're like cosmos. They really get geared up for this time of year. If I use a low tunnel, could I wait to plant later than the 6 to 8 weeks before first frost planting window? How can I determine how late I can plant? You can't, because you're gambling. So here's the rule that I follow, because we all know the weather's crazy now. You can't really, nothing is dependable, right? So the jumping off point is 6 to 8 weeks before your first expected fall frost. That's where you start from. So we have actually pushed back our transplant planting. This is not true for direct sowing. We've pushed back about 2 weeks, so I'm planting more like 4 to 6 weeks before my first expected frost, because our fall goes on for so long that the plants grow too big before they go into winter. I mean, you're looking for a plant this big to go into winter because they can go dormant, right? And so you can do that. You can't do that with direct sowing. I can't, or I wouldn't, because you need warmth to actually get the seeds to sprout. So you kind of just have to plant them. I plant them at the 6 to 8 week window and have really good results because I can water them every day. You can take steps to cool the bed down with the sun cap if you need to. But I wouldn't push, and there is no way to determine it. You just have to look at the weather and make an educated guess and have tools on hand, hoops, sun cap or row cover or whatever you need to actually make it work. But I find sticking to the timeline has usually been the best, but not perfect every time. Does that make sense? Does feverfew prefer to be direct sown? No. I mean, and it says right on our seed packet, prefers to be planted in the started indoors. If it does have both methods listed on a seed packet, it's the first method, which is our preferred way. All right, so I'm going to answer this hairy ball one. I know you can rinse hairy ball aphids off of hairy balls, but in order to sell flowers in my state, we have annual inspections. They're looking for infestations, including aphids. Any tips on how to keep aphids off hairy balls? That's a tough one. I mean, you're going to have to decide because when you do something about the aphids out in the garden, whether it's just soapy water or whatever, you take out all the beneficials that are there chowing down on them too. But you can spray soapy water, just like we washed them off in a soapy bath out in the garden. Use a garden sprayer. You put your Dawn or whatever in there, spray your plants down, and again, you're going to take out everything that's on there, then come back in about a half an hour or an hour and rinse them all off. And that'll help. And sometimes you can knock the populations back, but it'll take time because you're going to kill a lot of ladybug immature larvae, as well as all the other guys that eat them. I understand your problem, but hairy balls, Asclepias, which is butterfly weeds, all of them, like the milkweed. I mean, I'm not sure what the science is, but they always have aphids, and it's a problem. So friends, I'm going to answer this one. Do you keep cut flowers in a cooler until they're ready to make into arrangements? We do have a walk-in cooler. We only use it at certain times of the year for flowers that really benefit from it, which in general is cool season hardy annuals. Summer flowers typically just don't really benefit from it. And the goal has always been, in my flower farming business for 2.5 decades, was to move our flowers fast. We never sat on flowers. So we harvested them on Monday, they were out of here on Tuesday. We harvested on Thursday, they were out of here on Friday. So we didn't have to, it just eliminates all of that process. But yes, you can definitely use a cooler, but not all flowers go into the cooler. So friends, thanks so much for joining us. We are now going to break. Oh, wait.
Amber is taking Lysianthus celosia and Eucalyptus tuberosum this afternoon.
Amber, be brave, girl. Just walk in there like you own the joint. Because let me tell you, the biggest myth that I was under before I went to my first florist was that they just knew so much about flowers. They know about flower arranging. That's what I learned. They know really nothing about flowers. Don't ask them, what do you want me to grow, or anything like that, because all they know is what's available to them. You just go in there and be a pro, and if you don't know the answer to something, say, I have to get back to you on that. I have to check. And good luck. I wish you the very, very best on that. And if you want more help in that department, Flower Farm and School Online, the basics, really build your confidence for all of that. And then we have a workshop called Preparing to Sell to Florist with Ellen Frost, which really takes you over the edge of being a pro. All right, my friends, till we meet again,